A new study raising questions about whether it's possible to be both overweight and healthy at the same time. Researchers looked at long-term data for more than 60,000 people, and they found out basically that any extra weight may be linked to higher risk of heart attack and an early death. And this contradicts another study released earlier this year, which said people who are overweight may actually live longer than those who are thin. So we have to talk a little bit more through both of these things. Steve Siebold is a weight loss expert and the author of Fat Loser, mental toughness trainer for dieters. And Dr. Kathleen London is a family medicine physician. It's great to have you both to talk a little bit about this. And let's set some ground rules first, Dr. London. How are we defining overweight in this conversation? Is it someone that's 5 or 10 pounds overweight, or is it someone that's obese?
So that's the problem. So we're talking about, they're using BMI as a measure. And so sometimes you actually get people who are very muscular and not just having too much fat. That is one of the problems with any study that we've done on obesity. In this study, actually, overweight, it wasn't statistically significant. It was when you got to the level of obesity that we started to see actual changes and problems with heart disease and higher death risk. But there's two issues I have with this. Number one, it was a meta-analysis, meaning they didn't go out to study this. They went and took studies that already exist. And that's playing with data that isn't always that significant. Number two, they did not look at exercise levels. And that, to me, whether you're thin or heavy, we have so much data that for whatever the health risk, whether it be heart disease, cancer, dementia, it's exercise that is the prevention piece.
Well, let me ask Steve a little bit about that, Steve, because you must deal with people on a regular basis that maybe are healthy but don't look rail thin. And that's what I'd like to get out of this segment for our viewers. Do you have to be rail thin or very slender to be healthy, and anything different from that, you're not healthy?
Well, I think, Jenna, I think this is common sense. I mean, do we really need a study to tell us that if you're 100 pounds overweight or you're 75 pounds overweight, that you're a heart attack waiting to happen?
Well, what
I mean,
about 5
how
or
many
10
studies
pounds,
do we need?
What about just a little bit overweight?
Well, I think that obviously your risk goes down the less overweight you are. So I mean, I think we have a common sense issue that we're trying to cloud with a lot of statistics and a lot of studies. I think we need to grow up in this country and realize we're responsible. If we're fat, we are a heart attack waiting to happen. It's our own. This is our own fault. We've done this to ourselves.
What's one thing you can tell our viewers that they could do today if they feel that maybe they're in a category they shouldn't be, and to change?
I would tell
You've
people
got to
start
grow
with
up emotionally.
Okay, Steve, grow up emotionally. Dr. London, is that what you tell your patients?
Now, I tell them start with 15 minutes a day of exercise. 15 minutes. I'm not asking for the world. I don't care if it's running up and down the stairs. Get moving. And my thin patients get the same lecture as my overweight. I don't agree that everyone who's overweight is an issue. I definitely have some very fit overweight people that not only look good metabolically, but they are exercising. That's the big key here that was missing in this study. And those people look fine. Where I disagree with your other guest is he's making some claims in his book that fit people only eat for health. They don't eat for pleasure. This is eating for pleasure. I do triathlons so I can eat more.
Steve, what do you think about that? She stood up. I mean, you look great, Dr. London. I mean, I must say. Steve?
Oh, I agree, of course. This is generally speaking, the 500 fat people and 500 fit people I interviewed for my book, most of the fit people ate for fitness and for health, and the fat people ate for pleasure. But of course, if you're in shape like Dr. London and like you are, Jenna, and like I am, then you can afford to take some leeway on it, of course.
Every once in a while, we can't get crazy. Steve, Dr.
Sure.
London, it's a big debate. We appreciate the time today. Dr. London, thank you. Please, triathlon photos to come next time around.
On my Twitter handle.
All right. Great to see both of you. Thank you.